can a male and female be close friends without it turning sexual? I know it's possible. I've had many platonic female friends. That said, if you click as friends, there is a physical attraction and nothing else to derail the feelings train. It's almost the natural conclusion. Sucks, but I've also lost female friends to this. I lost a very close friend to this at the start of the year. Now I'm talking a lot with another close friend and keep going back and forth on whether I should pursue anything with her, as I think we both quite like each other, or if I should just stay friends to avoid complication again. Feelings suck. A few years ago, a good friend of mine seemed to catch feelings. Whenever we would hang out, he would joke about us kissing or getting to second base. Once would have been a joke, but saying something every time we hung out made it a pattern. I simply looked him in the eyes one night and said, I love our friendship and I know you have been joking about us getting together, but the truth is, I don't think of you in that way. And that was it. He followed up the statement with a few, yeah, I know, etc. From that day forward things went back to normal and we are still good friends to this day. I hope you can acknowledge the awkwardness and move on from there. Of course it's possible. A large portion of my oldest friends are male, and I wouldn't touch them with a barge pole, no matter how drunk or high. As for him being sexually aggressive, a very firm no is necessary. If he doesn't get the no, then cut contact and tell him exactly why you cut it, as he's being sexually aggressive. Good luck. Yes, you can be. It's more difficult if you find them attractive though. At the very least, there's been sexual tension between my guy friends and me. A bunch of my female friends started out as someone I was interested in romantically, but nothing came of it. But the same non-sexual qualities that I found attractive in the first place also make them great friends. Over time, the residual sexual attraction dissipated. A few are friends without ever going through the possible romance phase because I was never sexually attracted to them. I've never had one of those relationships that started as just being friends and then blossomed into love over time. It's always the other way around. Yes, I have several female friends that I'm not attracted to, but I like being around. If he's getting sexually aggressive despite you showing that you aren't interested and that it makes you uncomfortable, he isn't being a very good friend. I've always got along with women well and had a lot of close female friends. If you're both attractive and have good chemistry, there's definitely a risk. In my experience, whether it turns sexual is entirely based on the people and the relationship. Both people need to be A, sincerely committed to the friendship, B, completely honest, and C, completely trusting. My closest friend throughout college was a girl who, on paper, was my exact type. She was pretty, smart, funny, we shared interests, etc. Nobody could believe that we weren't secretly in love because of how close we were and how close and physically comfortable we were around each other. We were inseparable for years, and it wasn't unusual for me to make sexual jokes or her to be physically affectionate with me, leaning her head on my shoulder, giving me a peck on the lips goodbye, etc. We even went on vacation together, got wasted and shared a hotel bed, but nothing happened. I think part of the reason nothing happened is that we had always been honest about you're hot, I'm hot, and we'll probably end up hooking up at some point if we get the exact right amount of drunk. We both agreed that if it happens, it happens, and not to be awkward about it. I had a crush on her when we first met, which I was fully honest about. But even we were both single and the level of intimacy we shared straddled the border of friendship. We were committed to the friendship first and foremost, and we could trust each other to not do anything inappropriate/predatory/creepy. On the flip side, I've had friendships that have turned sexual and we managed to stay friends afterwards. But I've also lost friends because we couldn't learn to return to normal after having sex. In that case, the problem is usually that one or both of us ends up wanting more, but we just aren't compatible on a relationship level. I've also, as much as it pains me to say, been the guy who's hanging around a girl because he secretly wants to have sex with her. I think anytime men and women are close, sex is an issue. It's just biology. It's not an insurmountable issue, but it does take maturity communication and trust from both sides. The thing that strikes me about your situation is that it sounds like either your communication is a one-way street, or he just isn't respecting your feelings. That's the sign of a shitty friend. He might be confused, especially when you're young. It's easy to mistake platonic emotional intimacy with feelings. This stuff is hard, and I feel for him. I would have done sexual things with just about all of my female friends. But also I know I would have been mortified if I had done something to make them uncomfortable. It will be different for every person, but you have to know where their line is and respect it. It's possible that he misread some signals from you and mistakenly thinks you're interested, but he needs to listen to you and respect you when you say you aren't. That's kind of a defining factor of friendship. I'm 28. I've had plenty of platonic guy friends. I've also lost a lot of friends because they were trying to duck when I wasn't interested, to the point one put something in my drink. If your friend can't respect you enough to keep it in his pants when you make it clear you aren't wanting a sexual relationship, he isn't your friend. He doesn't care about you or your feelings or your friendship. He's willing to let it die over his dick. Close bracket. Sure, if they are not attracted to each other, well, it works if both think the same way. I think a platonic friendship with the opposite sex is for the majority of men hard to achieve. Depends on the emotional maturity of both parties. At some point in every friendship I've had with a guy, I've liked them sexually, even if it was just for a day. I've thought of them in that way at least once. It doesn't affect our relationship though, like I wouldn't act on it or something. Our friendships are still platonic. No. It is not inevitable that it turns sexual. I, 29 meters, am in a position where one of my best friends is a 24-year-old female. We're both single, and yet I wouldn't sleep with her because I consider her my close friend, not a partner. And that's just one example. Plenty of people have multitudes of friends of opposite genders, or even the same gender if gay, that they don't sleep with or ever sleep with. So don't feel bad rebuffing his advances. Okay, you don't have to sleep with anyone and shouldn't feel obligated to. Absolutely. I am 44, have many close female friends with whom I'm completely platonic. Funny thing, though, two of my best female friends both started out non-platonically. I have platonic friends of opposite sex, and yes, sexual attraction will come from time to time, but we're adults and are able to control ourselves. Can a male and female be close friends without it turning sexual? Yes, but not every person can do this. There are plenty of people don't feel sexual attractions and need to think someone as their partner to feel any attraction. It all has to do with someone's personality and other character traits. Lol, I'm bisexual. Now, does that mean I can't have friends at all? Rolls my eyes in homosexual. Sure. Yeah. My best friend is female. We have similar last names, so we frequently sat next to each other since 8th grade. 35 now and we still hang out a lot. Never thought of her as anything but a friend. I have a platonic female friend who I frequent as a cuddle buddy, and it hasn't moved further, and we don't really want to move further. Yes, you can be close friends without it turning sexual. All my closest friends have been male, and sometimes it turns sexual and sometimes it doesn't. Just like a non-sexual friendship. If you both have the same understanding and respect for the other person, then a friendship involving sex works great. But if there is no trust, respect or understanding, then it won't work. If he is getting aggressive, then it might not be the best friendship to maintain, even if there is no sex, because it sounds like you don't share the same mindset. Absolutely. Some of my best friends are both male and female. Sometimes it's inevitable that romantic feelings may develop, but if you value your friendship, you will be able to just move on from those feelings and be happy in a platonic relationship. It's also possible to have a friendship that includes a sexual component that doesn't result in loss of respect or being locked into a romantic path. If everyone involved is on the same page. I don't really like the tone of some of the replies here that suggest that he was only being your friend because he wants to have sex. That's not how a lot of people work. He is quite likely genuinely friends with you and also attracted, and maybe more attracted, since he knows you a bit. Someone can absolutely be a good friend, even if they're attracted to you. It's called respecting your boundaries. Sounds like he is having trouble doing that. I'm sorry. Or maybe he thinks it's mutual, if you haven't yet clearly indicated otherwise. I know it's not fun having to lay that down to someone, but sometimes you do have to, if they're really pressing it. I'm a gay man with many gay friends, so yes. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.